Some people seem to win. Again and again, money falls into their lap, fortune finds them, while others struggle their whole lives and never catch a break. And tonight, Florence Scovel Shinn is going to reveal the truth about why. Because what the world calls luck, what the world calls winning the lottery of life, is not random at all. It is law. And once you understand this law, you can begin to align yourself with the same sudden, overflowing fortune. So let us begin. The premise is this. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 22 says, "The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it." Read that again. The blessing of the Lord maketh rich. Notice, it does not say hard labor makes rich. It does not say luck makes rich. It says the blessing makes rich. There is a blessing, a divine flow of good that makes a person wealthy, sometimes suddenly, sometimes in ways that look like the wildest luck. And Florence Scovel Shinn taught exactly this, that there is no such thing as luck, that what appears to be chance is actually spiritual law, operating precisely. She taught that the person who seems lucky, the one to whom good fortune keeps coming, is simply a person who has, knowingly or unknowingly, aligned themselves with the law of divine supply. And the person who never catches a break has, without realizing it, blocked that same flow. And consider the lottery itself for a moment, because it is the perfect symbol of what people believe about fortune. Millions of people play, all wanting the same thing, all facing the same odds on paper. And yet, if you study the people to whom sudden windfalls actually come, in the lottery and in life, you find something curious. They are very often people who genuinely expected good fortune, who spoke of winning as though it were natural, who carried an inner certainty that money would come to them. Florence would say, this is no accident, that the outer windfall was preceded by an inner alignment, that the person became magnetic to sudden fortune before it ever arrived. Now, this does not mean you sit and gamble your rent away hoping law will save you. That is desperation, not alignment. It means you understand that sudden good fortune, however it comes, follows the same law as all good, the law of the blessing that maketh rich, and you align yourself with that blessing so that good fortune, through whatever channel is right for you, begins to flow. Tonight you learn how the law actually works, so that you can stop waiting on luck and start living under the blessing that maketh rich. Here is the affirmation. Speak it with me. I am under the blessing that maketh rich. Sudden good fortune now flows to me. My word is my wand. Say it again, and feel it as true. I am under the blessing that maketh rich. Sudden good fortune now flows to me. My word is my wand. Feel that. You are no longer hoping for a lucky break. You are placing yourself under a law that brings your good. And the moment you feel that shift, the whole game changes. If you believe your fortune is on its way, type 2 words in the comments right now. My blessing. Just type my blessing, and let it be your declaration. Now let me give you the first key, which is that luck is not real, but law is. Because this is the foundation that changes everything. Most people move through life believing that some are simply born lucky and others are not. That fortune is a random roll of the dice they have no control over. And as long as you believe that, you are powerless, waiting and hoping for a chance that may never come. But Florence Scovel Shinn taught, along with the deepest spiritual traditions, that nothing is truly random, that we live in a universe of precise law, of cause and effect, where every outer condition is the effect of an inner cause. What looks like luck is simply law, operating in a way you cannot yet see. The person who wins, who prospers, who seems perpetually fortunate, is aligned. Their inner world, their beliefs, their words, their expectancy are all in harmony with abundance, and so abundance flows to them. It looks like luck from the outside, but it is law from the inside. And here is the liberating part. Because it is law and not luck, it can be understood, and it can be worked with. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are living in a lawful universe that responds to your inner state. And the moment you grasp this, you stop being a victim of luck and become a student of law. And let me make this concrete with what you have surely noticed yourself. You have seen people who just seem to have a golden touch. Authorities fall into their lap. They are in the right place at the right time. Money finds them through channels no one expected, and you have seen the opposite. People who work twice as hard, and nothing ever seems to go their way. And the easy explanation is luck. Some are lucky, some are not. But Florence taught that if you look closer, you will see a pattern. The fortunate ones almost always carry a certain inner quality, an expectancy, a confidence, a belief that things will work out, and the unlucky ones almost always carry the opposite, a bracing for disappointment, a certainty that they will lose, a deep belief that good does not come to them. These inner states are not the result of their luck, they are the cause of it. The fortunate person was magnetic to fortune before the fortune ever arrived, and the unfortunate person was repelling it long before it failed to come. The luck followed the inner state, not the other way around. This is the law hiding beneath what looks like chance. And let me address the resistance you might feel to this idea, because part of you might be saying, "But I have believed in good things before, and they did not come. So how can this be law?" And that is a fair challenge. But Florence would answer it this way, that a belief is not a single hopeful thought held for an afternoon. It is the deep, settled conviction you carry in your bones, and you can have a surface belief that good will come while carrying a much deeper belief that it will not, and it is always the deeper one that wins. So when you say you believed and it did not come, look closer, and you will usually find that underneath the hopeful thought there was a foundation of doubt, a bracing for disappointment, a secret certainty that it would not really happen, and that deeper certainty was the law that operated. This is not to blame you. These deep beliefs were mostly installed without your consent, but it is to show you where the real work is. Not in adding more surface hope, but in changing the deep foundation. And the deep foundation changes slowly, through consistent, faithful repetition of the new truth, felt as real, until it sinks below the surface and becomes the new bedrock. This is why the practice must be daily and sustained. You are not just thinking a nice thought. You are relaying the foundation of your entire financial reality, one faithful day at a time. The second key is that your beliefs about money set the ceiling on what can come to you, because the law responds first and foremost to what you believe. Florence taught that whatever you hold as true in your deep mind tends to become your experience, and most people hold beliefs that make sudden fortune impossible. They believe money is hard to get, that people like them never win, that wealth is for others, that good things do not happen to them, and every one of these beliefs is a law-level instruction, telling the universe exactly what to deliver. If you believe you are unlucky, you are commanding an unlucky experience. If you believe good fortune never finds you, you are pushing it away by law. The person who experiences sudden abundance believes, deep down, that good comes to them, that they are the kind of person fortune favors, and so they are. This is why changing your fortune must begin with changing your beliefs. You cannot receive a windfall you secretly believe is impossible. You must first become, in your own mind, a person to whom good fortune naturally comes, and as that belief takes root, the outer conditions begin to rearrange to match it, and I want you to understand just how deep these beliefs run. because most of them were formed long before you could choose them, in childhood, absorbing the fears and limitations of the adults around you, hearing that money does not grow on trees, that rich people are lucky or crooked, that people like us have to struggle, and these early impressions sink into the deep mind and become the silent law running your financial life. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It grows whatever seed is planted in it, without judgment, and most people have a subconscious full of weeds of lack and limitation, planted by others, running automatically. So when they consciously wish for a windfall, while unconsciously believing fortune never comes to them, the unconscious belief wins every time, because it is operating at the level of law. This is why simply wanting money does not work. The want is conscious, but the block is unconscious. And to change your fortune, you must go deeper. You must uproot the old beliefs and plant new ones, deliberately, through repetition and feeling, until the deep mind holds a new truth, that you are one to whom good fortune flows. And when that new belief takes hold at the subconscious level, the outer experience must change to match it, because the soil now grows a different crop. And here is a test you can run on yourself right now. Honestly ask, when you imagine a large sum of money suddenly coming to you, what is your gut reaction? Does a part of you light up and think, yes, that is coming? Or does a quiet voice say, that would never happen to me? Things like that do not happen to people like me. That gut reaction is your true belief, the one operating at the level of law, and for most people, it is the second voice, the voice of doubt and unworthiness. And as long as that voice runs underneath, no amount of surface wishing will override it. So the work is to change that gut reaction, and you do it the way all deep beliefs are changed, through repetition, through feeling, through speaking the new truth again and again until the deep mind accepts it. You keep declaring that good fortune comes to you. You keep imagining it as real. You keep feeling the feeling of having received, and slowly the gut reaction shifts, until one day you imagine sudden fortune and the whole of you says yes. And when your deepest belief agrees that fortune is yours, the law delivers it. The third key is that expectancy is what opens the door to sudden good, because beyond belief lies expectancy, the active, living anticipation of good. Florence taught the law of expectancy, that whatever you expect with faith tends to come to pass, and this is the secret ingredient the fortunate ones have. They expect good things. They wake up expecting something wonderful. They move through life anticipating pleasant surprises, and that expectant state is magnetic. It draws sudden good toward them. Most people expect the worst. They brace for disappointment. They anticipate lack, and by law, they receive what they expect. But the person who lives in genuine expectancy of good becomes a magnet for it. Florence taught that you should look with wonder at that which is before you, meaning you live in a state of joyful anticipation, expecting your good to appear from anywhere at any moment. When you cultivate this expectancy, you open the door for sudden fortune to walk through, because you are no longer closed off in doubt and dread. You are open, expectant, and magnetic, and it is into that open, expectant space that the blessing flows. And let me show you why expectancy is so much more powerful than mere hope, because there is a real difference between the two. Hope says, maybe good will come, I wish it would, but it holds a secret doubt, a bracing for disappointment. Expectancy says, good is coming, I am ready for it, and it holds no doubt at all. It is certain, and that certainty is what makes it magnetic. Florence taught that faith is really expectancy, that to have faith is simply to expect your good with such certainty that you begin to prepare for it. And she taught that you should make active preparation for receiving even before there is any sign, like the farmer who prepares the field and plants the seed fully expecting the harvest. So the person aligned with fortune does not just passively hope, they live in active, joyful expectancy. They carry themselves like someone who knows good is on the way. And this state does something remarkable. It changes what you notice and how you act. The expectant person sees opportunities. The doubtful person walks right past. They say yes to the invitation. They follow the hunch. They answer the call. And any of these can become the channel through which their sudden good arrives. Expectancy is not passive. It is an active, alert, open state that positions you to receive and to recognize your good when it appears. And there is one more thing about expectancy that most people miss. It must be joyful, not anxious. There is a kind of straining expectancy that is really just fear in disguise, watching and waiting desperately, needing the good to come, and that anxious watching actually blocks the flow. But true expectancy is light. It is the happy, relaxed anticipation of a child who knows something wonderful is coming and simply enjoys the waiting. Florence taught that you catch your good on the vibration of joy, that a heavy, worried, straining state repels it, while a light, joyful, expectant state attracts it. So as you cultivate your expectancy, keep it happy, keep it light. Expect your good, the way you would look forward to a gift from someone who loves you, with pleasure and certainty, not with desperate need. This joyful expectancy is one of the most magnetic states there is, and it is the state the fortunate ones live in, whether they know it or not. They simply expect good and enjoy the expecting, and good keeps coming to meet their happy anticipation. The fourth key is that you must speak your fortune into being with your word, because Florence's central teaching was that your word is your wand, that you create your reality with the words you speak. So if you want to align with sudden good fortune, you must speak it, not beg for it, not hope for it, but declare it. You say, I am under the blessing that maketh rich, sudden and unexpected good now comes to me. Under grace, you speak as one who knows their fortune is coming. You refuse to speak words of lack, of bad luck, of never catching a break, because those words are wands too, building the very misfortune you fear. Instead, you speak fortune, you speak blessing, you speak abundance, and you do it with conviction, again and again, until the words sink past your doubt and become the law of your life. The spoken word is how you consciously direct the law, how you tell the universe what to bring. So you take command of your words, and you speak yourself into the blessing that maketh rich. And let me give you the specific words to use, because vague affirmations produce vague results. You want to speak with clarity and power. You can say, I am under the blessing of the Lord that maketh rich, and sudden, unexpected good fortune now flows to me. Under grace, in perfect ways, you can say, I am divinely magnetic to my good, and money finds me through expected and unexpected channels. You can say, I give thanks that fortune favors me, that I am in the right place at the right time, and that great good is always coming to me. Notice these words, claim fortune as already yours. They leave the channels open, and they speak with the authority of one who knows. And just as important as the words you speak is refusing the words you must never speak. You stop saying, I am so unlucky, I never win anything, nothing good ever happens to me. With my luck it will go wrong, because every one of those is a wand building misfortune. Florence taught that you are always framing your world with your words, so you become vigilant. You catch the words of bad luck before they leave your mouth, and you replace them with words of blessing. Over time, your speech becomes a steady stream of fortune spoken into being, and the law has no choice but to bring your words to pass. And understand that this is not about saying the words mechanically, like a chant you rush through. The power is in the conviction behind them. Florence taught that it is the word spoken with feeling and faith that carries creative power. So when you declare your fortune, you must mean it. You must feel the truth of it. You speak as one who genuinely believes the blessing is upon them. Even a single sentence spoken with deep faith and feeling is worth more than an hour of hollow repetition. So slow down, feel what you are saying, let the words carry the weight of real conviction, and speak them from the place in you that knows, beneath all the surface doubt, that you are a child of an abundant universe and that your good is truly on its way. The fifth key is the daily practice that keeps you aligned with fortune, because this is not a one-time declaration. It is a way of living. In the morning, before anything else, you set your alignment, you speak your affirmation, you declare that you are under the blessing, that good fortune flows to you. You set the expectation for the entire day. Through the day, you guard your alignment. Every time you catch yourself thinking about bad luck, about lack, about how good things never happen to you, you stop and you return to the truth. I am under the blessing that maketh rich. Good comes to me. At night, as you drift towards sleep, you give thanks for the fortune that is flowing to you. You fall asleep in the feeling of being blessed and favored, and this daily rhythm keeps you continually aligned with the law of abundance. Most people drift in and out of alignment, a moment of hope followed by hours of doubt. But the one who practices daily stays in the magnetic state, and it is sustained alignment, not a single lucky thought, that produces sustained good fortune. And let me explain why the daily rhythm matters so much for fortune specifically. Because alignment with the law of abundance is not something you achieve once and keep forever. It is a state you must return to again and again. The way the fortunate person thinks is not a single choice but a habit, built and reinforced every single day. This is why the morning matters. The state you set in the morning tends to color everything that follows. If you wake and immediately sink into worry about money, into the feeling of being behind and unlucky, you have set the law against yourself before the day begins. But if you wake and deliberately align, declaring that you are blessed, expecting good, setting yourself in the magnetic state, you move through the day as a magnet for fortune. And the daytime guarding matters because life constantly tempts you back into the old, unlucky story, the setback, the unexpected bill, the comparison to someone doing better, each one an invitation to declare yourself unfortunate again, and you must decline it each time, returning to your alignment. And the nighttime matters because the last state you carry into sleep sinks the deepest into the subconscious. So you refuse to fall asleep rehearsing your misfortunes, and instead fall asleep in gratitude for the good that is coming. And this daily practice of alignment is exactly what the overflow covenant is designed to make, automatic, because the hardest part is not understanding the law, it is staying aligned with it day after day when the old unlucky beliefs keep pulling you back. The decree arrives each morning to reset your alignment, to place you back under the blessing, morning after morning, until being magnetic to fortune is simply who you are. The sixth key is that you must release the outcome and trust the law to work, because this is the final and most subtle piece. After you have aligned your beliefs, cultivated expectancy, and spoken your word, you must let go. You must release the desperate grip. Florence taught that straining and forcing actually block your good, that the anxious demand for a specific result closes the very door you are trying to open. So you do your inner work. You align, you speak, you expect, and then you release. You trust the law to bring your good, in its own perfect way and timing. You do not dictate that it must come through the lottery or through one specific source. You leave the how and the when to the divine, and you rest in calm trust. This release is itself an act of faith, and it is in that relaxed, trusting, open state that sudden fortune most easily arrives. The grasping, desperate person repels their good, but the aligned, expectant, and trusting person becomes irresistibly magnetic to it. You plant the seeds of fortune with your beliefs and words, and then you trust the law to bring the harvest. And I want to make sure you understand why releasing is so essential, because it seems to contradict everything else. You spend all this effort aligning, believing, expecting, speaking, and then I tell you to let go. But here is the paradox at the heart of the law. The desperate, grasping energy of, I need this to happen, it has to come, I am counting on it, is actually the energy of lack. It broadcasts that you do not have and are afraid you will not receive. And by law, that broadcast of lack blocks the very good you are straining for. Florence taught that you must hold your desire lightly, with faith, not with anxious clutching. She taught that demonstrations often come the moment a person finally lets go, because the letting go removes the block of anxious demand and lets the good flow. So after you have done your inner work, you release. You say, I have spoken my word. I am aligned, and I now trust the law to bring my good in its perfect way and time. And you genuinely relax. You go about your life in calm expectancy, not desperate need. And it is in that relaxed, trusting state that fortune finds its easiest path to you. The seed, once planted, does not need to be dug up and checked every day. You plant it in faith, and you let it grow, trusting the law that never fails. Here is the whole picture. What the world calls luck is actually law, and the person who seems perpetually fortunate is simply aligned with the law of divine supply. Your beliefs set the ceiling on what can come to you. Expectancy opens the door to sudden good. You speak your fortune into being with your word. You practice daily alignment, and you release the outcome and trust the law to work. When you live this way, you stop waiting on random chance and start living under the blessing that maketh rich. And sudden, unexpected good fortune begins to find you, because you have made yourself magnetic to it by law. Every part of this is available to you starting tonight. The law has been revealed, and the only thing required is that you begin to align with it. And let me leave you with one last thought about why this matters more than money alone. Because when you truly grasp that fortune is law and not luck, something shifts deep inside you. You stop feeling like a victim of chance, tossed around by forces outside your control, and you start feeling like what you actually are, a participant in a lawful, responsive universe that is always answering your inner state. This is one of the most empowering truths a person can hold, that your outer life is not happening to you at random, but is responding to you precisely. And that means you are never truly stuck, never truly at the mercy of bad luck, because at any moment you can begin to change your inner alignment. And as you do, your outer fortune must begin to change to match. The person who understands this walks through life differently, with a quiet confidence, an expectancy, a sense that good is always on the way, and that very state, held long enough, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Fortune flows to the one who knows, by law, that it will. Before we close, let me be direct with you one final time. The reason most people never experience this kind of fortune is not that the law does not work. It is that they cannot hold the alignment on their own. They slip back into old beliefs of bad luck and lack again and again, and the magnetic state never takes hold. This is exactly why I created the Overflow Covenant, a 21-day sequence where one short decree rooted in these truths lands in your inbox every single morning to keep you aligned with the blessing that maketh rich day after day until fortune becomes your natural state. It is $27, one payment, 30-day full refund. The link is in the description. Begin it tonight and let the first decree reach you in the morning. So speak the affirmation with me one final time before you go. I am under the blessing that maketh rich. Sudden good fortune now flows to me. My word is my wand. Hold that. And from this moment on, stop waiting on luck and start living under the law of the blessing that maketh rich.